Hi everybody, I'm here to report on last night's 2-0 win against Aberdeen at Ibrox. And what a great start to 2026 at Ibrox by beating Aberdeen so comfortably. I would say it was a routine win. It wasn't spectacular, it was just comfortable, but 2-0 up at half time. We knew the game was won. It was just a question of could we score another couple? Would we allow Aberdeen to score a goal, consolation goal, that kind of thing? So it was comfortable, although you can never really be truly comfortable against any team when it's only 2-0, even at Ibrox. The manager just made a couple of changes from the starting lineup against Celtic. Unfortunately, Tavernier came in instead of Sterling. Presumably, he was saving him, making sure his minutes didn't result in another injury. So he'll be ready for the Pittodrie game, which is a more difficult game, obviously. And Diamandi started as well instead of Asgard, who came on at after half time. So strong team, not our best team, but a strong team. So thankfully, the game was wrapped up really by half time. And I said to various people, when was the last time we were 2 goals up at half time through two headed goals from corner kicks? And that's how it transpired. The 2 goals both came from the left side. Barron took both corner kicks. The first one, Fernandez rose above everybody else and just headed it into the net. They complained the goalkeeper had been bumped into by Raskin, but I think it was the other way about, if anything. So nothing to see there. And then just before half time, another Barron corner, and this time it was a lovely glancing header from Raskin, who didn't even have to jump. He just got away from his marker about on the 6 yard line and just glanced it past the goalkeeper. So 2 great goals from corners. When did we last have that in any game? So that's progress. Maybe this set piece coach does actually do something for his money. So 2-0 up. That was fine. The only thing was we had a couple of scares when it was 1-0. Actually, we had 2 scares, unnecessary scares. I mean, the first one when it was 1-0, the Aberdeen guy, I think from his own half, just fired a ball up the middle. And as usual, Suter was sleeping. I don't know where Fernandez was, but the ball went up through the middle, and the striker ran between Suter and Tavernier, who was playing no effect in the move at all. So went between them. The guy got it on in the edge of the box. Thankfully for us, it took a heavy touch. Actually, I think bounced up and hit his leg and went forward, and that enabled Butland just to come out and dive on it comfortably with the guy nowhere near it. So that could have been disastrous. That could have been a one each at that point. So we got a bit of luck there because of the guy's poor control. But presumably that's why that striker's playing at Pittodrie, because he did the same thing, maybe even worse, I don't know, when a few minutes later, when Raskin lost the ball just inside their own half. There's nobody behind him, there's nobody covering. So all of a sudden, the guy who's got the ball is running towards our goal. Suter is just outside the box. So Suter's between the guy in possession and the guy who's going to get the pass, the same guy who missed earlier. And when the ball comes across the box, the guy should control it and fire it into the net, probably, or at least get it on target. And somehow it kind of went off his foot and just went away to the wing. Just waste of a chance. So thankfully for us, the same guy missed 2 good chances when it was 1-0. And these were the 2 best chances they had in the whole game, actually. I think overall we had something like 22 shots at goal and 8 on target. And they had 9 at goal and 3 on target. So thankfully we didn't give up any obvious chances like that in the second half. Second half was a bit of a letdown because we seemed to ease off. We didn't control it in the same way. We let them pass it about more. They made a few half chances, I would say. Butland had his first save and his only save, I think, in about 60 minutes when Nisbet did a great header going into the far corner, and Butland had to dive across and palm it away for a corner. So that was his best save of the game. The best save overall in the game came from Mitov when Raskin fired a 20-yarder, beauty of a shot, going into the top corner, and he dived to his right and palmed it past the post. So that was a great save. That was the save of the match, actually. In general, in the second half, we were shooting high, wide, straight at the goalkeeper, weak shots straight at the goalkeeper. That was the biggest weakness, I would say, in the performance. The shooting was just pretty poor. Too direct at the goalkeeper or high and wide. Tavernier did one over the bar. Bannon did one over the bar. Who else? Asgard hit one straight at the keeper, that kind of thing. Tavernier actually took a great free kick and it was dipping under the bar and the goal had to tip it over. That was in the first half. So that was the nearest we came from any kind of long range shots. So to win the game by 2 headers was strange, to say the least. Aberdeen had 2-3 half chances in the second half, but they came to nothing. So it was comfortable. We played well enough. Nobody was bad. Nobody was outstanding, I would say. Well, I don't know. Raskin got the man of the match. That was his best game of the season, I would say. He scored a goal. He could have scored with another header. He had that great shot, that I say. But he was harrying the opposition. When he got the ball, he was taking it forward at speed. So that was his best game of the season. But I thought Connor Barron was better than him, the man of the match. He showed what it should be to play for Rangers. He was getting stuck in. He was running all over the place. Endless energy, chasing players down. When he lost the ball, he was chasing back and trying to get it back. The crowd were cheering on practically every time he made a tackle because he was so enthusiastic and showed that desire that we need from everybody. So I'd have said he was the man of the match, but Raskin got it, but I wouldn't quibble with that. That was his best game of the season. So on the whole, everybody did well. Even Tavernier didn't make as many mistakes. He made 2 or 3 poor passes, gave it away a couple of times in dangerous positions, but that's par for him. He didn't make as many mistakes and he did 2 or 3 decent things, so I'll even give him pass marks for a change. But there's no way he should be starting any game if Sterling's up and running and totally fit, and we don't have to watch how many minutes he's playing, endangering his fitness. So anyhow, satisfactory game. Nothing to complain about. Nick Walsh was as usual, gave Aberdeen every foul going, even when they fell over, hardly anybody touched them, it was a foul, and yet they were going into us and he wasn't blowing for a foul, or when he was giving us a foul, he wasn't booking any of their players who deserved it. I think they had 2 yellow cards, we had none. There was a couple of tackles in the first half just outside their box, and I've now seen it since on Sports Scene and on my own recording of the game, and twice Rangers players were just barged into from the back or barged off the ball when they were running towards the box, and he just waved play on. Unbelievable. And then a minute later he'd give a trivial foul for next to nothing. So that's just Nick Walsh. At least none of the big decisions were affected by this terrible anti-Rangers referee. So at least that was something. Maybe he's a bit more wary about refereeing us after all the decisions he's made in the last 2-3 years that always go against us. So at least that was another bright spot. So 2-0 win. We're now 3 points behind Hearts, 3 ahead of Celtic with a game more played than both of them. So we just have to keep that going. That's all we can do, just keep winning games. And I'll be delighted if we can beat them at Pittodrie. That's going to be a hard game. I don't know who the referee will be, but let's hope he doesn't let them get away with murder the way they usually do at Pittodrie. So I don't know if I'm looking forward to it. I'd be grateful even just for a draw right now, although we definitely bossed them last night. It's a different proposition up at Pittodrie. To be truthful, I'd be delighted if the game was postponed due to the snow up there, but I think that's too good to be true from our point of view. So let's just do it all over again, and then we've got a run of 2-3 games at home where we should manage to win and keep the momentum going. But I'm not banking on a win at Pittodrie, I'll say that.